Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to Let's Play God of War. Today we're going to work on getting more of the tools that we need along with the Rune in order to access Jotunheim, where we can finally reach the highest peak in all of the 9 realms and scatter Atreus' mom's ashes as she wished. In the meantime, runic wormskin. These don't look too bad, and they're a net gain in stats, particularly offensive stats. If the defense goes up, I don't care too much. If vitality goes up, I don't care. I will always prioritize every one of the other stats over those. But runic actually went up a whole lot, even though I lost a tiny bit of strength. Made up for that a little bit with the gem, which we unsocketed from the old gear.
That chisel. That's the magic we need.
So we've come to the frost giant Thamer's corpse in order to get a chisel tip. And again, this giant was a real giant, a colossal one. As we learned last time from Mimir near the end of the episode, his dying breath froze everything around him. Oh, and these werewolves are so susceptible to getting paralyzed by the electricity. You just tase them. Oh, and because we have the bounce upgrade. Oh, nice. Have to be careful because, yeah, that happened. You can still be hit while in slow motion if you're near his hitbox. We're going to be cautious on that one. And this should be the kill animation, too. That insanely brutal one. Yeah, one more hit. Yep. So we're just rolling now. We have a lot of the tools that we need. Just to plow through most combat encounters. So there's a lot to do out here in this icy courtyard. There's this chest, which we were interrupted from opening by the werewolf aggro. And this had, ooh, some arm guards, some bracers. Shit, that makes all the good stuff go up. That makes runic and strength go up. Cooldown went down just a little bit, but that's okay. So this is not a Nornir chest, even though it has the same kind of seal system. So we need to get around and find an angle to hit this again. I think that does it. Yeah, so we need this in order to do that. Actually, we can do this first. We can hit this. Raises this just long enough. That is the rune that we need. So we only had to hit that one time. There's just so many things going on out here.
Hey, how did you increase that? That's handy.
Yeah. We'll blow this up first. There are 2 different targets for the World Tree Sap. I don't know if that's going to hit. Oh, the explosion radius was big enough. Cool. Cool. And that's for the final seal over the gate. I think we just get some kind of nice enchantment or a piece of gear out of that chest in there. It's actually not too big of a deal, but since I know how to open this real quickly anyway, why not? Shit, what is in here? I think this is... I don't know. I think this is just a frost resistance rune.
Father, can we go through?
Oh, no. You know what? I've never actually heard about anybody doing, like, a pure axe-throwing ranged build. I wonder if that's viable. Like, I wonder if you stack all those up and you just go all in on all of the ranged combat upgrades, if that gets real good. Huh. Like, that style of combat doesn't appeal to me. I wonder if that can be pretty viable.
That did it.
Can you read it?
I'm basic as fuck,
Yes,
so I just build strength and a bit of runic.
To Njord, we offer back the sea's bounty.
Ah, yes. It was believed that Njord calmed the winds and seas for the fishermen. For that they loved and worshipped him here.
I don't think they actually give you all that many tools to make pure ranged axe throwing all that fun. Like, you have so many interesting tools to use just to vary up combat when you're going melee. You don't get a lot of moves. Like, you don't get a lot of variation in style from the ranged tree, I find. That's a bunch of realm pairs that we are not doing. I only just noticed this on this playthrough, by the way, when we came into this courtyard. I didn't realize there was an ice ancient here when I first came through. This one's only slightly different from the other stone ancient creature that we fought back in Alfheim. In that it has that sweeping laser, but not the focused beam that goes directly at you. And it has these waves of projectiles, which is actually really useful because you can get that projectile parry and get a little bit extra damage in. And 2 kills him over. Oh, I started swinging way too early. What's my timing? Can I... this is a little bit too greedy. Can't get 2 full combos in. However, we still have him at half, so this is still going to be 2 cycles, looks like. So we didn't lose out on all that much time or damage. Nightmares are annoying. They spawn in, I guess, only when he shows up. Or when he awakens. I gotta say, it does feel really good to throw the axe and catch it, and so much work was put into the axe. Like, an incredible amount of work was put into just making the feeling of throwing and retrieving and swinging the axe at things feel incredible. I'm not going to go all the way into game feel and what it is and how that works. There's actually a Tiny Voices episode on game feel that you should check out. I think it's one of my best Tiny Voices episodes if you want to learn more about game feel and some of the tricks behind it, like the hit stop and all of this. But one subtle thing that they did with the axe is this is the frost resistance. Did I know that the Ice Ancient was here? Because, no, there must be another frost resistance enchantment somewhere nearby. Anyway, is they don't just use... Oh, hi. They don't just use hit stop to convey impact here. And, you know, in a lot of games, that'll be the only thing that conveys the hit. Or the only thing on impact, I should say, aside from, you know, reel back animations and the audio cues. But you'll follow through with an attack regardless of whether or not it hits or misses an enemy. I'll cut that short for now. Oh, he got Phineas gauged.
How are we getting down there?
I have a plan.
You do?
Do not act so surprised.
Oh, no offense, brother, but I don't even think Thor with Mjolnir in hand could get through that much ice.
Then Thor is a fool.
This should be entertaining.
Boy.
Right.
Alright, so like I was saying, a lot of games, what will happen is you will have a swinging animation, you'll have the, you know, the attack animation, and the full follow-through of the animation will play no matter what. Whether you whiff or you make contact, it's the same animation no matter what. And the only thing that changes is how the thing that you're hitting reacts, like the real animation, the audio cue, you know, the screen shake, and the hit stop, stuff like that. But God of War here goes a little bit further. They use inverse kinematics and animation techniques to create animations where the axe actually sticks in whatever you hit. Like, if you whiff, it plays one animation. If you connect, the axe will actually stick for a second. His arm gets stuck as the axe embeds in an enemy, while the rest of Kratos' body is moving independent of those joints in his arm and the axe involved in the contact. And then you have the follow through afterwards, where it would normally just be hit stop and follow through of one animation. Instead, it's the axe getting stuck and then the follow through of pulling the axe out to finish the animation. And it's really subtle and it's hard to put your finger on if you're not looking for that, or if you don't have like that piece of information on how that works. You just know, you just feel it. That's the essence of game feeling. Even if you don't know how it works, it's just, it intrinsically has weight or heft or whatever feeling that they're trying to give you. What is the term that Errant Signal tried to coin? I think it was kinesthetically pleasing? Tries to convey feeling through gameplay.
You have potential, boy.
The Polygon interview about this actually shows it really well because it shows the points on the enemy's skeleton, and it does some freeze frame stuff with photo mode on contact when Kratos hits them to actually show off and like overlay the joints on his skeleton and show you what's actually happening, like kind of frame by frame. It's really cool stuff. Also, I love how ridiculously detailed Thammer is. Like, the independent whiskers of his beard, and fuck, we'll get up here and we'll see nose hairs. It's so lavish and ridiculous.
That was, that fight. Here, catch. Well, that was a waste of a perfectly good hour.
How were you not seen? There is nowhere here to hide.
Oh, that. It's a little trick my people can pull. A special way of not being seen.
You can be invisible?
More like I can step into the realm between realms. And your mind doesn't understand what it's seeing, so it sees nothing at all. That's how we avoid ever having to actually use the weapons we craft. It doesn't seem to work on dragons, though.
Your brother wanted to know if you're getting enough to eat. I guess I could tell him you are.
Brock was asking about me? Was there meat on his breath? You let him touch this again. Come on, then.
So that's how Brock was in the temple right after the water drop. He stepped between realms.
Okay, now, shush! I need complete silence for this. There you go. So what brings you around, friends?
That's completely unnecessary, but since they call it out in the story, like Atreus questions how, oh wow, how do you do that? How do you get around like that? How did you avoid being seen? I'm glad they actually pay that off and give that an explanation. And he did kind of say, oh, it's magic earlier, but now we have a more full idea. And why he was in danger from Razlir. Because dragons are the only ones who can see through his trick. I'm glad that they just pay off on that attention to detail. We're finally going to craft a higher level tunic for our boy. See, this is for juggling. This is for, the red one is for melee. I think I'm leaning a little bit more towards sharpshooter, but I like the fashion of war of this one. Almost called it the Fashion Souls.
What shall it be? If you're not in a hurry.
We have one more thing to do up here. So we can see down into his intricately detailed fucking individually bristling nose hairs. But also, we can chip one of his teeth out. I don't know
What are you doing up
what the
here?
purpose of that
I'm on a
is.
hunt
It doesn't do anything, but you can.
Slag.
Slap what?
Scap. Slag.
ores with specific impurities that are the key to unlocking all sorts of unique qualities. One man's waste product is another man's artistic medium.
Okay. Well, we're off to get a chunk from the tip of the giant's chisel.
The big chisel buried under all the ice? Ha! Good luck with that.
Hey, Sindri. Have you met Mimir?
If you mean the severed head that keeps blinking at me, please, keep it away. There is no possible way that's hygienic.
Oh, that's nice. Lovely to see you too, Sindri.
Knob.
Why? Is that a piece of my braided mistletoe arrow adorning your quiver strap? A little memento of your good pal, Sindri? I'm so terribly touched.
Okay, no more from you. Alright, great. So... Oh, I've been meaning to say this. I definitely have not addressed this yet. The mark of the dwarves that we get every time...
It's a plan of yours.
Can you guess it?
Knowing you, it doesn't involve standing around here.
Correct.
But how do we move forward?
Why? But why, though?
Boy, Elmo really liked Drooler, didn't he? Even braided his beard with it.
I happen to think he looks dashing. You know, snow-covered corpse.
But why, though? But why don't the thing go? There we go.
Careful! My shop's right here!
I could not get the arrow to make contact, even though visually it was. Oh, the mark of the dwarves
Getting into that building?
that we get every time.
Decide that'll help us break the ice and get to the chisel tip?
No.
I'll keep thinking.
They're so chatty today. That is just a permanent +1 stat boost to Runic every time we get one of those story upgrades for the axe. The appearance of the axe is also changing as well. It's becoming more ornate every time one of the dwarves works on it, on top of getting that +1 Runic upgrade. Atreus' bow as well, every time we upgrade that, it becomes a little bit more fancy. So we're gonna rotate that, just to get that out of the way before we start fighting this new enemy who's backing into us with a giant shield on his back. This! Oh, that's so good looking! This is a traveler. I don't think this is actually... Yeah, it has to be from the front. If you stun him, which we're on our way to doing... Should have done this from the start. Should have had these arrows out. Nah, it's not gonna happen. You can actually tear his armor off, and he becomes a lot easier to fight. This is the most Souls-ass enemy in the whole game. Oh, and I do not appreciate that. I do not appreciate you interfering with this essentially mini-boss. Oh, this attack, cool. I'm glad he did this. He doesn't always do it. You can throw the axe at the skull that he's charging up for that super attack, and it curses him. Glad we at least got to see that. Just get some of that easy damage in, since that's off cooldown, and... Yeah. Dude, these guys are super cool. They're a little bit annoying to fight early on. It gets easier to fight them. Now we can just clean up. Just clean house. Pick up all this bullshit.
We will show it to the dwarves.
Come here. You knew this place? Before?
I came here on a diplomatic mission once. Trying to broker a peace between Asgard and Vanaheim. That war. So many lives lost. What I didn't know was Thor had already gone on a killing spree of giants.
What do the giants have to do with the war between the gods?
Nothing at all, lad. That's the tragedy of it. They took no side in that madness. But Odin's paranoia is surpassed only by Thor's lust for blood.
Yeah, and Thor are real dickheads. This, however, is a legendary chest, and it contains Blessing of the Frost. I don't remember this one. So it's an axe enchantment, Heavy runic upgrade. Oh, it just gives you the shockwaves when you swing the weapon. We also got this. It was something that I neglected to pick up. I got from the Lost Items tab at Sindri's shop. I actually really like the River of Knives. Plus, it's got one of the coolest names in the game. The River of Knives. For that fucking Rapukin. Then you upgrade it and it becomes double Rapukin. Triple Rapukin. So that these sniveling cowards can be gone. Yeah, we're gonna rock that for a bit. And now we are gonna climb all the way up to close to the top of the hammer. While Atreus continues to try to guess what Kratos has planned. Can you guess, viewer?
Huh. What now?
That looks like it shouldn't work, but it does.
Got most of it.
From pretty much any distance.
Well, a stealthy plan it is not.
Now we must free the other strap.
We do? Why are we going up when what we need is all the way down there?
Think.
Well, the chisel tip is under thick layers of ice, so melting it won't work.
Correct.
And there weren't any shattered crystals nearby for me to shoot, so that's not an option.
Correct.
I just leave smashing the ice. We need something ridiculously heavy to... Oh, I get it now.
Good.
I really like that. Like, all of the... everything with Atreus is just stellar.
How are we going to turn the hammer so it lands near the chisel tip?
Not possible. We cut it free, write it down, and figure out what comes next after.
So your plan involves a whole bunch of luck.
You're welcome to suggest a different one.
I think we get to the top of the handle just before the hammer
Hold
itself.
tight.
Man, it's really hard to get an appreciable view for just how high up you are up here. There's not a lot to give perspective.
This plan seems ill-advised.
Jump!
That didn't work. It only fell a little ways.
This is not a problem. We will solve this. Oh, this puzzle coming up. First, we'll grab what's ever in here. Looks like it's going to be another upgrade. That's quite a decent one, too. It's just across the board an upgrade.
Oh no! The floor's collapsed. There's a sand hole, but how do we get to it?
We cannot. What does it say?
When time itself is disarrayed, the forward path is retrograde. Retrograde? It's backwards?
Those symbols. The seasons?
Yeah, but the order's all jumbled. Shouldn't it be winter, spring, summer, autumn?
Why start with winter?
It's from a song Mother used to sing.
Don't I know that one?
Winter.
Quiet, head.
Doesn't like music either. Got it.
So, winter, spring, summer, autumn is the order of the seasons from the song, and the riddle tells us we need to input that order backwards. So from left to right, it should be autumn, summer, spring, winter.
Try that.
Real simple.
House. Suma. Bar. Vet. Yes.
Atreus, that word.
Thola. It means endure.
Try it.
Thola.
Well done, lad.
Write it again.
Thola. We're rising! The energy's lifting the platform.
Keep writing.
Thola. Thola. Thola.
Head, how is this possible?
My guess? Temporal magic. Dangerous stuff the High Vanir gods used to play around with. The ability to freeze time. Happened to be a favorite of Njord himself, in fact.
Used to. Why did they stop?
Well, turns out stopping time keeps the sun and moon from streaking across the sky. Unfortunately, it does not stop the wolves that chase them, always looking to sink their teeth in. After that, they decided it was best to leave time alone.
We'll deal with that next time. Thank you all for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one, y'all.